after he left South Africa, he did change as a person, and he spent the majority of his life promoting nonviolent resistance. And it's true that he did help India to, overcome British colonial rule. So I say all this to say that Gandhi did do many positive things in the world. He did have an influence on other prominent historical figures like W.E.B. Du Bois, Martin Luther King Jr., and even Nelson Mandela. So there are definitely many positive things that he achieved later on in his life. So I have to give credit where credit is due. But with that being said, there was a really problematic thing that I read while I was checking through his backstory, and I did not know this at all, because whenever I was reading about like Gandhi and like in the news or even like in his movie, like they presented him in like this kind of holier than thou type of way, but that's not the correct depiction of how he actually was as a person, because as all human beings, he did have flaws. And what I'm about to tell you right now, it's a really serious flaw that actually makes me feel uncomfortable. So in the latter parts of his life, he would sleep with naked women in his ashram. And by the way, an ashram is like a religious retreat, right? The reason why he did that was in the later parts of his life, he completely devoted himself to Hinduism, and he was preaching against married couples having sex. He believed that the way to achieve a peaceful and blissful life and to be one with God, you must be celibate. And in order to prove that he could resist the temptations of sex, he would sleep with women in his ashram, right? And the one of the things that really made me just feel very uncomfortable was that one of the women that he slept with was his grandniece, and she was 18 at the time, and he was already like in his 60s, 70s. So here you are, a man with influence, and you're revered by people, and then you're using your power basically to get your grandniece to be a part of your experiment. That to me is such a problematic thing, because I have a hard stance against people who abuse their authority in order to prove a point or do whatever it is. And look, there's no way around it. That's what he was doing. Whether or not he was trying to promote celibacy, it's still wrong to be sleeping with your grandniece naked. And even if they didn't have sex, that's besides the point. If you want to promote celibacy and all that things, that's your prerogative. But when you take it to that extent, to me, I have an issue with that. And for that reason alone, that for me would make me okay with having his statue taken down, at least at Carleton University. Because again, yes, he did a lot of great things. He influenced many great leaders, like I mentioned earlier, but I think that's a form of abuse, because you're using authority to prove some like religious doctrine that you were practicing. And fine, you have the right to practice your religious beliefs, but again, the fact that he was doing those things with his like grandniece and like other young women who were probably, let's be real, probably were pressured into doing it, that to me just rubbed me the wrong way. And also, because if you're really trying to prove that celibacy is the way to do, and you're telling people, oh, even if you talk sexually to people in the ashram, you're gonna get punished, but yet here you are sleeping with your grandniece and other women, that to me, there's something wrong about that. And that seems a little bit sus in my opinion. Before I learned all this, I kind of said that maybe we should keep the statues, but after this, I'm kind of leaning in the direction of maybe taking it down, because it feels kind of wrong in my opinion, right? And I know everyone has their flaws, but this is not just some minor character flaw. This is like a serious issue that it's often glossed over. And if you want to say, I think we should keep the statues up because of the things he did for India, helping them to escape colonial rule, okay, fine. I'm not going to hate on you for that. I'm not going to shout from the rooftops. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Gandhi statues coming down or staying up. This was a very difficult subject for me to think about and to discuss, because I could see both aspects, but after I read that details about what happened in the ashrams, I'm leaning in the direction of taking them down. But I would love to know what you guys think. Do you think Gandhi statues should stay up, or should they be taken down? Regardless of how you feel, let me know in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you think. As always, thank you for watching. If you like what you see here and you want to see more, make sure to click that subscribe button. Until next time, y'all.